It is a great honor as well as a great pleasure for me to acknowledge the President of the General Assembly, our President, His Excellency Dennis Francis. The visit of the President of the General Assembly to the main committees has now become an annual tradition. Despite his busy schedule, the President has spared some time to visit our committee. Mr. President, on behalf of the committee, I extend to you a warm and cordial welcome to the Legal Committee of the General Assembly. Sir, you have kindly agreed to address the Sixth Committee, and therefore, without any further introduction, because it's not necessary, it is my distinct honor to give Mr. President you the floor. Your Excellency. Please.
Thank you, Ambassador. And good morning. Your Excellency, Ambassador Suriya, Chindawongse, Permanent Representative of Thailand, members of the Bureau, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. I extend my sincere congratulations to you, Chair, and to the other Bureau members for your deserved election to steer the work of the Sixth Committee during the 78th session. As I join you today, I want to underscore that our joint mission is of extraordinary importance, as it constitutes the very essence of the United Nations in the pursuit of peace, justice, and the rule of law. The work of the Sixth Committee is central to upholding these principles as we strive to ensure that the international legal framework remains robust and adaptable to the evolving needs of our temporarily beleaguered multilateral system. In view of the unprecedented, daunting challenges before us, from the ongoing impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, the deepening climate crisis, to the vicious cycle of conflicts around the world, the work of the Sixth Committee in producing clarity, stability, and predictability is more critical than ever. But the sad situation in the Middle East, Africa, and elsewhere, including in Haiti, does serve as a reminder to all of us that we cannot simply continue to take peace for granted, but rather we need to invest more to achieve and indeed to sustain it. I am nevertheless convinced that while today's challenges are greater, so too is our collective capacity to surmount them and to bring about transformational change that meaningfully benefits sustainable development. Peace and justice must be attained comprehensively, everywhere and for everyone. Our collective aim to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, as espoused in the UN Charter, remains our most urgent and pressing ideal to achieve, and thus must remain the centerpiece of our work. Likewise, the myriad challenges emerging from risk and loss due to the devastating impacts of climate change must also remain a core focus of our efforts. The Sixth Committee's deliberations on the protection of persons in the event of disasters and other related issues are therefore particularly important in this context. Inevitably, connected to this reality is the real existential threat posed by sea level rise, an issue that imperils several of the membership and is a key priority during my presidency. The 2023 synthesis report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, unequivocally demonstrates that inconsiderate human activity has significantly overheated the atmosphere, the oceans, and the land. Global mean sea level increased to 3.7 millimeters per year between 2006 and 2018, compared to the much lower levels in the decades before. While the International Law Commission is still considering the topic of sea level rise, it is incumbent upon the Sixth Committee to also continue discussions on the legal implications of this phenomenon. It is not hyperbolic to say that sea level rise poses a serious existential threat to many member states. This is especially true for the SIDS, where fertile lands are being destroyed, millions of people are being forced to migrate or relocate, and imperative questions are emerging about the future of their statehood. We therefore owe it to all those affected communities to ensure predictability, sustainability, and security amidst the climate crisis. We must ensure that the General Assembly and its main committees, including the Sixth Committee, create adequate space to ponder and to address these vexing challenges, including the implications for international law. With a view to giving impetus to this crucial dialogue, I will also convene an informal plenary meeting on the 3rd of November, featuring member states and independent experts. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, across the Sixth Committee's broad work program, spanning criminal accountability over crimes against humanity to measures to eliminate international terrorism, I implore member states to uphold the values and principles of the UN Charter and to ensure the full respect for international law at every step and throughout your deliberations. The scourge of terrorism continues to spread across the world, and it must be countered in all its forms and manifestations, domestically and through cross-border coordination. I therefore urge the committee to help to establish the conditions under which justice and respect for international obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law are maintained and honored. It behoves us to agree clear and practical rules. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, in each of my statements to the main committees, of which this is the 6th and final, I have raised the issue of program planning. As you would recall, this year the Committee for Program and Coordination was not able to agree on 10 programs, which were subsequently referred to the main committee. I understand that this has been dealt with by the committee already, and in fact, a letter from the chair has already been conveyed to the chair of the 5th committee. In this regard, the 6th committee's habit of seeking consensus-based solutions, even in difficult times, is admirable. I urge all delegations to engage in that spirit of consensus building throughout the session. As an anchor of our multilateral system, consensus is especially important as it reflects the principle of sovereign equality of states, where in all perspectives, including the voices of the most vulnerable countries and countries in the most vulnerable situations are heard and accommodated to the extent possible. Your hard work and unwavering commitment to the cause of justice and peace will go a long way towards attaining prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all. I wish you a productive and successful session. Thank you.
Mr. President, I thank you for your important statement, and I speak on behalf of the committee in wishing you all the success in the exercise of your responsibilities as President of the 78th session of the General Assembly. Thank you for your words of wisdom and encouragement. There is much important work to be done and accomplished by the Assembly this year. On behalf of the Sixth Committee, I wish to assure you that the committee will continue to make every effort towards the productive and timely completion of its work and thereby contribute to the work of General Assembly. I'm sure your presence today, your words, your encouragement enhances our resolve to accomplish our important tasks. After all, it is for our United Nations. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.